Hello and welcome to the FGandRZ podcast. I'm your host, RZ or Aaron, and my co-host, FG or Luke. Say hello.
Yeah.
Hi. This is our second episode of the podcast. We do a podcast every week, which is game, TV, series related, and movie related. So we'll start this off with some of our information. So Birds of Prey has been confirmed finished doing their filming. Do you know anything about Birds of Prey, Mr. FG?
Not the TV series, no.
It's not a TV series, it's a film.
That's a film.
Yeah. So basically,
okay. I was sweating a little bit when I thought it was a TV series.
No,
yeah,
so,
it might actually not be that bad then.
Okay, so basically, Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn. Everyone liked her out of Suicide Squad. Her and, in my opinion, Deadshot was probably the main like characters and like drawing point to that film. What did you say? Sorry.
I said I really liked Will Smith.
Yeah, Will Smith was awesome. So they were like the main like feature of that film. Anyway, they've spin her off into the Birds of Prey series, which is, film, which is basically a team that I'm pretty sure like Black Canary makes or something. Anyway, this is the squad that the team is. This is all the information I could gather on Birds of Prey from doing a little bit of research. Not much has came out. If you watch the trailer's literally nothing. It is Harley Quinn moving around and then it says see you later or see you soon or something along them lines. Literally there is barely anything. And then there's another trailer and it's just the cast of characters all doing their like little unique things but not telling you who they are. So it was kind of weird to be like, okay, I'm assuming they're her and that's her and all this. So anyway, you've got the team. The start person is Harley Quinn, obviously. I'm assuming she's the drawing point. And then you've got Black Canary. Don't know who's playing Black Canary. Huntress. Then you've got a character called Renee Montoya, who's apparently a cop. And then you've got Cassandra Cain, who's supposed to be Batgirl, I think. So the story basically goes that...
and we've got Ewan McGregor playing Black Mask.
Ah, okay, cool. Right, so the story of what I pretty much know, Batman's disappeared. Gotham is now unprotected. Harley Quinn has ditched the Joker. Apparently, Batgirl has came across diamonds belonging to Black Mask, and basically they're protecting her. That's the plot. What do you think?
There's not a lot there for me to. There's not a lot there for me to think. Really, I think I would have preferred a Gotham City Sirens to whatever the hell this is that we're getting.
Birds of Prey. What's Gotham City Sirens?
It's Poison Ivy, Catwoman, and Harley Quinn.
Oh, okay. That sounds a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
For me, like, that little information that we've got, and they haven't really shown any more trailers other than the two that they've shown. There's not really much going on there, and I don't think it's good. Right, so DC at the moment, right? Let me just throw this out there. With Aquaman and Shazam, DC are currently on the line where fans are actually saying DC films are good now. Like not like some of them are like like so some fans are like I'm still on the still don't know about it, and then other fans are like, you know what, Aquaman was decent, Shazam's decent, we're going in a better direction.
Well, DC right now is like, see, it's hard to say that they're good or bad, right? Like with DC, we've had some good individual films that don't tie into anything else. So yeah, Shazam, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, like
Christian Bale's Batman.
Don't, because so many people like it, and I don't know why. I'm not getting into Christian Bale's Batman. It's not Christian Bale as Batman, it's just the Batman he portrays that I don't like. But I'm not getting into it. Ben Affleck was better, but whatever, I'm not getting into it. So here's the thing, right? any movie, like I thought Man of Steel was really freaking good as well.
I never
Like
watched it.
the individual solos we had, I think have all been pretty good. But all of the unified films, the ones where they've tried to copy Marvel,
Mm-hmm.
and their attempts at making like a unified DC universe have just been abysmal. Like, and so even though they've made a couple good standalones since, I mean, Man of Steel was a pretty damn good movie, and Wonder Woman was a good movie. But their bad movies was just Batman v Superman and Justice League. Like, so even though they've had some good movies with a standalone, it doesn't by any means mean that their DC universe is going to be good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you've still got you reckon okay, so you know this universe that they're kind of keeping around now, they're going with like the Marvel kind of style that their like universe is connected. Now they're kind of stuck with with the Joker, Jared Leto's Joker, that a lot of people do not like. Do you reckon they're going to change him out?
See, I mean, listen, if they're willing to change Batman and Superman, they are willing to change the Joker.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
And I think Henry Cavill was an amazing Superman, and I think Ben Affleck was a pretty damn good Batman as well.
Okay. Well, we'll jump into Suicide Squad 2 then. Apparently, there's talks of John Cena coming into it. John Cena, WWE champion, I think 12-time WWE champion. You know, everyone knows who John Cena is. What do you think of that?
I think back a day it would be really weird and strange, but like we've had Batista as fucking Drax, we've had The Rock in a fucking buttload of movies. So yeah, I don't know. Don't really know what to think. I don't really watch WWE. You watch it a lot more than I do.
Yeah, so for the WWE aspect of it, John Cena jumped off WWE like 6 to 12 months ago and said he was jumping into movies. He's been a part of like three movies or 4 movies now.
Since or just in total?
Since that.
Okay.
One was the newest Transformers, the Bumblebee one. I haven't watched.
I didn't watch it, no.
But he's the main villain in that, and apparently some people say he's pretty decent in it. But apparently he's either playing the role. Okay, right. So a bit more research of mine. Will Smith is confirmed not going to be in it.
Yeah, I saw that. That's whatever. Carry on though.
And then, you know the villain in the new Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
He apparently was going to take the role of Deadshot, but now he's not.
Wait, you mean Idris?
I knew his start of his name was Idris. Don't know the rest of his name. That's why I wasn't going to say it.
Elba. I used to always say Ebola. That's why I didn't want to say it.
Oh God. Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's Elba. It's Idris Elba or something like that.
Yeah.
Carry on though.
So he apparently was going to be the Deadshot, and now they've benched it, but they're keeping him still in the role in like Suicide Squad.
Interesting that they want to change Will Smith's Deadshot. Is that because he just doesn't want to play it, or is that they don't want him to play it?
I'm pretty sure he didn't want to play it. But then, which I found really strange because maybe he was contracted. I don't know. From the build-up and like all the radio stations that I listened to and everything, he was promoting the hell out of it, saying he was having the funniest time of his life. He hasn't had that much fun in ages on set. He loved all the crew. He loved all the cast, everyone. So, and then it's like, yeah, he's not coming back for 2, which is strange, don't you think?
I do think it's strange. I think in total, I mean, just in general, I don't think. So this is what I don't like about DC right now. They haven't said if Birds of Prey and Suicide Squad are counted DC universe shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess they kind of did when they used Ben Affleck's Batman in Suicide Squad, right?
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, I was having a drink.
Yeah. So the thing that I'm not liking with DC right now, they're having these spin-offs, right? They're doing these spin-offs, so Suicide Squad, Birds of Prey, and then, maybe down the line Gotham City Sirens, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're having these spin-offs that are good stories and can, but it's the equivalent of Marvel making like Inhumans right after Iron Man or Captain America. You know what I mean? It's the equivalent of them, or like the X-Men. It's the equivalent of them making something that's like not as related to the universe that they're currently building, and they're just making kind of a spin-off for no reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like right now, whilst I do want a Suicide Squad movie, but a good one. I know I don't really care too much about Birds of Prey. I would like to see Gotham City Sirens. But also do like these like kind of spin-off side stories. They would be a lot better if they had more experience with the DC universe, rather than was making them a little bit later down the line for me.
Yeah, I like 100% agree with that, because it's just like you threw in the Justice League, which was I didn't actually mind that film that much. I thought Batman tried to kill himself way too many times for my liking. I thought Batman he literally was just a suicide. Like that's all he wanted to do from start to finish. He had no intelligence whatsoever. It was just, I want to die, and I want either Superman to kill me or the villain to kill me, and that's literally what it seemed like through that whole film. Yeah, they throw Justice League in, and then they're throwing Suicide Squad in, which for me, it's got you understand that the Justice League are a really big team, and then the Suicide Squad are more kind of just like on the level of an upgrade of police. You know what I mean? Like, okay, you called the Avengers in when there was a big situation. You know what I mean? You don't call you don't call know a little squad in to do the thing, but they released them around.
I mean, the Suicide Squad is obviously really depending on who they're using in the movie. And who they choose to use. The Suicide Squad is very, very resourceful. It's just more they're used to handle situations that are a bit more messy, not like save the world kind of like save the world by beating up a bunch of bad guys. It's more like save the world by assassinating this dictator and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And it just the plot of Suicide Squad. It was kind of like. So you see Batman at the start of Suicide Squad 1, and then you see this big-ass villain that's literally, like, tearing up the street.
What's this?
I'm on about Suicide Squad 1.
Yeah.
So you see Batman, and then Enchantress brings her brother back from the dead, or whatever he does. Unchains him, shall we say. And then where's Batman? Where's Superman?
Yeah.
Where's all these heroes that should be here at this point?
Yep.
As soon as this big cheese is literally like you can see a laser going into the sky. Where's Superman? Where did the police ring up? Superman, stand down. I've got the Earth's dangerous criminals on the case. Don't worry, Superman. They've got this. If it all goes to shit, we'll blame it on them. We'll never blame it on you, but we'll blame you for not showing up. That's how it looked to me. It was just like, where are these guys? You see Batman at the beginning, so where is he now?
Also putting Joker in there for no reason whatsoever. What a waste.
Yeah. Literally, I was saying that from the very start, though. As soon as Suicide Squad had a trailer and you seen the Joker in it, I was like, why is he in it? Other than just because people like the Joker.
Yeah.
And
there's really no reason for him to be there.
And I hope he's not in the second one.
He was also like the trailer footage for Suicide Squad. He was in it a lot.
Yeah, he was in
his actual screen time.
Literally, he was in that's the thing. It was just to pull people's hype. Like apparently, so Jared Leto apparently doesn't watch his own videos that he's a part of. He doesn't like watching them.
I wouldn't either if I was that Joker.
So apparently he doesn't like watching his own videos, but Jared Leto is also a method actor, which is hilarious. I know some people are like really big method actors where I just can't deal with that. Like I just don't understand it as clear as some other people do. But anyway, so Jared Leto doesn't watch his own videos, and a lot of people were saying to him that he wasn't in it a lot. And he was like, that's bullshit. I was in it for like most of the film, and he's adamant he was in that film. He was in that for most of the film.
I think he's got like 5 minutes screen time.
So there was a lot of editing going on if he believed he was going to be in most of that film. There must have been
maybe that's another reason why it was so bad. Like maybe they thought he was so bad at the Joker, or like they just didn't like the scenes or something. I don't know. The entire film just doesn't. I don't like anything of the film, if I'm being honest. Like, I like the character. First of all, Croc, no. Killer Croc, God. Just do a CGI one, man. It doesn't look intimidating. He doesn't look threatening. Croc is supposed to be massive.
Yeah,
You
like
know what I mean? Like, that's just
yeah,
embarrassing.
yeah. He was just like, I would have more said he was like just a lizard man. Like, oh no, he
wasn't, yeah.
he was just a lizard man, and then
He was not Killer Croc.
Literally the only character that, to be fair, the only characters that worked for me in Suicide Squad was Deadshot and Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn, she looked great. Didn't think she sounded very much like Harley Quinn, but she had her attempt at it, you know what I mean? I
sounded alright.
I give her credit for it. Yeah, like it wasn't, you know, like it wasn't exactly the Harley Quinn I wanted, but look-wise, she looked great. And Deadshot as well. Deadshot was everything I wanted. He looked so cool. He was such a badass. He was literally like, you know, the scene where they put him in the gun range, and he literally just wrecks shop.
Yeah,
that is like one of my favorite scenes. Like it is amazing. Anyway, I'll put us back on track. Back to John Cena. Right, apparently he's going in the role of one of these characters, right? I've got my eye on one that I think he's going to be out of all of them, but apparently he's either going to be the Peacemaker, never heard of that character, King Shark, everyone knows King Shark from the Flash TV series.
No, I mean,
and King Shark in general, like Big Shark Man, right? Polka Dot Man and Ratcatcher. He's apparently gonna be one of them characters. Now,
are you gonna be King Shark? No, I don't think I want to see King Shark after what they did to Croc.
Oh my god! Imagine just John Cena shows up just all in blue,
in a shark outfit, yeah. Just in like a little shark onesie.
Actually, he shows up all in blue with just like a fin on his head or something.
Honestly, like I cannot. I cannot believe that they're gonna. I refuse to believe they'll use something that should be heavily CGI'd. If they did what they did to Croc, like I just don't think they will. Especially if the Suicide Squad 1 like didn't do that great. I can't imagine them throwing more money into 2. You know what I mean?
I just want it so bad. I just want a blue John Cena running around. I just can't. I really want that. That's the thing I want. I honestly think he's either going to be King Shark or maybe Peacemaker. I've done a bit of research on Peacemaker. He's a bit more buff than all other people, but he's not that buff. Polka Dot Man, apparently he pulls... I can't believe these villains, right? So Polka Dot Man apparently pulls polka dots off him, and they can turn into anything he wants. This is with minimal research, by the way. So, like, don't hold me to. I don't know if you can turn the polka dot into like a mansion or anything like that. Literally, the brief description of Polka Dot Man was just like he pulls polka dots off him, and it turns into things that he wants. And I was just like,
sick, to be honest.
I was like, that's insane. But if you look at his outfit, it's not sick. It just looks like pajamas, and it's like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's resourceful for him, like it's useful, but it doesn't look good.
Like I thought he looked a lot more badass, but you never know,
But you thought someone called Polka Dot Man would look badass?
Well, they could. No, I thought how they're gonna make him look a lot more badass because there's no way you were right. Like,
I mean, look at Croc. Croc looks badass on his own, and they ruined him. So
literally,
no change necessary.
Like, so I never really. Like, the Riddler for me never looked that impressive, but in Gotham I actually didn't mind his look. I understand it's just a green suit, and as soon as he puts the hat on, I just lose all faith in the Riddler as like a villain. And like in the Gotham one, at first when he put the hat on, I was like, nah, it don't work again. And then he puts the hat on like later on, and the more and more I see him in the hat, the more and more I kind of like him in the hat. And I think, he's a pretty decent like Riddler. So I used to think Riddler looked stupid, so I think Polka Dot Man looks stupid at the moment, but he'll probably be a bit bit better.
No. There's just a big difference between the two.
One's wearing pajamas and the other one's, wearing a green suit. So there is a lot of a difference. And then after that, you've got Ratcatcher, which if you have quickly Google him now, I would say he looks the equivalent of like Warhammer's like the rat one. Can't remember. Vermintide. He looks like he should be on that.
Oh, the game.
Yeah,
oh, that's what you was calling the species.
No.
So yeah, you get that a bit mistaken.
Yeah,
Mistoken.
But so he literally looks like he should just be on that, in all honesty. So honestly, don't know really if I want John Cena playing him either. But I don't know. I don't really know who I want John Cena playing.
I want King Shark, but a good one.
I vote King Shark. That's where my vote's going. And then there's one more thing DC related that's going to be out, but there's not really much details on it. There's the new Swamp Thing.
Oh.
Now, I didn't even see the trailer. I seen a little picture on Instagram saying DC's confirmed Swamp Thing. That's all I seen. Now, Swamp Thing, I don't know anything really about him. All I know is he's part of trees. Is that it? No, he's part of a swamp. I just know from the what's the DC fighting game? Injustice. I've played him on Injustice, and he can throw trees at people. So that's all I know. Do you know anything about him?
Hello. Not a lot. He's not my favorite character. I believe his origin is just he was a dude that died, and then the nature took him and then turned him into. I think the old guardian of nature died or something, and then when he died, his nature took his body and then turned him into what he is now.
Okay.
Basically, I mean, if you've played Injustice, you should generally know the rough idea. He just protects like the forest and nature and stuff like that. Like that's the premise. He just anyone who tries to like harm it, he just protects. That's all. He's more not a bad guy, not a good guy. Just does his own thing.
Okay, and that's going into a TV series, I think. So
yeah,
I don't know where that's going to go. I don't know how many seasons they reckon they're going to get out of that.
Well, with a budget that they should, right? I mean, like they was originally going for 13 episodes. Now they're going for 10. I think they have to release it just to make some money off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I don't think they'd release it. But they cut 3 episodes short, so now I know that the writers obviously had to rewrite the script for episode 10 to try and get it to make sense.
Oh, that don't sound
finale and stuff. Like obviously as well, they promised it was going to be a CGI Swamp Thing, but it's not. They didn't have the budget for it in the end.
That's not good as well.
That's not good either. No. And the trailer wasn't anything special. It wasn't a worrying trailer. It was just more like a reveal announce kind of thing. Like you just kind of see Swamp Thing emerging from the swamp, and then it just says Swamp Thing.
Does he look good?
I don't know. It's hard to say because with this CG, I think like he looks pretty good, but as a whole, you don't see him stand up. Like he's just slightly comes out of the swamp, and I think when you see him in his full height, will be when you can tell whether it was a better choice or not for CGI or not. Kind of like Killer Croc and Suicide Squad. If you only saw his head, it wouldn't be too bad. But it's the fact that he's the same height as Deadshot.
Yeah, and all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously,
okay.
Yeah.
Let me have a quick look at him. Oh God.
What are you laughing at?
I just quickly YouTubed what he looks like. Okay, you know what? Honestly, I don't know what I expected, but I guess I kind of expected something like that. He don't look too great, but he don't look too bad.
Yeah, he don't look too bad. But
I've seen him emerge out of the water and the bubbles, and it was just like, okay, he kind of looks like what I would assume a green Bigfoot looks like.
Yeah, you're actually right.
Like that's the closest thing I can think. The red eyes are kind of cool though. But
Like
it's
I
not as
say,
bad as I thought it was gonna look like.
well, I mean, the thing is, like I say, the main thing is just gonna be when he stands up straight. Like when he stands up straight, his height, build, and how intimidating he is overall. Like that will dictate whether it was the right choice or not.
Yeah, is he a villain or is he just
Nah,
middleman sort of thing?
He's like I say, just has his own agenda. Won't do any. As long as you're not hurting nature, he won't hurt you.
Okay. Cool. Right. So let's jump off the DC now, and we'll jump more into what's happened this week. So basically, PlayStation have announced that the PlayStation 5 is confirmed, and they've announced a few specs with it. Not too much specs, but just a bit. We know that it's going to be AMD, so I'm assuming Microsoft are going to shift over to Intel for their hardware, because you're going to have one versus the other always. They've confirmed that it's going to be a massive improvement over the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 4 Pro, which I obviously expect if you're advancing the technology. They're going to have a Ryzen 8 core 16 thread processor, which, doing a bit of research, is around about a £300 processor each. £300 processor, like, kind of thing. So that's interesting. And also the graphics card is going to be the equivalent to a 1080.
Wait, really?
Yeah, that's
insane. Well, yeah, that's insane.
So it's also, I don't know if I mentioned, it's going to have an SSD running it.
Yep. That'd be cool.
So that's,
well, I mean, that will be very cool.
That's cool.
Depending on the actual size of it.
Yeah, that's one thing that I want to jump into. I reckon it's 500 gig, because I don't think Sony are going to go any more than that, because that's too expensive. But
big no. Yeah.
Right, so let's just while we're talking about it anyway, I'll jump into Amazon quickly, and if you just go for a GTX 1080 graphics card, you're talking between £400 and £700, depending which one you purchase. You've got the processor, which is around £300. And then you got your SSD. So you're talking, this console is going to be around, just going by them three specs alone, this console might be around £800.
Nah, so it'll be similar to when they always launch, right? Because when they make the newer model, right, they don't account to make profit on the model, right? Like they don't give you, like, their profit comes from the online subscription that you have to pay monthly.
Yep.
As well as, like, they get like a cut of, like, PlayStation stores. Like anything you buy in the PlayStation store, they're gonna get a cut from that and stuff as well. There's generally like a lot more that goes into how they make their profit, not just like the hardware of the actual PlayStation. So far, the fact that, like, we're already saying it's going to be about 800, 900 on those two things alone means that, since we can assume it's probably going to be 500 max, maybe 550 at push, we can assume that, like, you're probably going to be gaining hardware wise about I'd say about £500, like £500 spare, like, in terms of, like, you are getting a really good deal if they do like 550, you know what I mean, on your on the PS5.
Yeah, I assume they're going to go for about 600. That's the push I think they're going to go for. And then they're going to hit you with the SSD, and they're going to hit you with all these things. And in all honesty, they might even throw out to you how much this console would be if you brought a PC. Because that would be a good marketing idea, to be like, well, all you people like PC gaming, this is the equivalent of a PC, but with all the things you would want on a PC, like graphics wise, but we're selling it to you for £200 cheaper. It's like, you know what? Why would I go for that over building a PC?
I don't know, because £200 isn't a lot. If you already invest in like 600, 700 into a console, the £200 difference between what a PC offers and what a console offers it's still massive compared. Like the specs aren't everything. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
play like a console is really limiting maneuverability, and any actions you can make on a console is severely limited compared to what you can do on a PC.
Yeah, 100%. The one thing that I actually like about when Sony or Microsoft bring out a new console is actually we get a graphical update for PC as well.
Yeah.
Which is, it's insane because you can buy a graphics card for like £2,000 now, and you don't get you get a graphical buff, but you don't get the actual graphics of what your graphics cards can do until the next console comes out and they start bringing them next gen games out as well.
Yeah,
it's like,
also as well, like when we get like PlayStation exclusives and stuff, like we play console stuff as well. You know what I mean? Like so it's nice going from a PC to a console if there's not going to be a massive difference in performance, visuals, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because going from like keyboard mouse to controller is hard enough as it is, without like losing like visuals and FPS and performance in general. Like an upgrade in a PlayStation makes makes transferring from a PC to a PlayStation for exclusives a lot more enjoyable.
Yeah. So you've also got Sony as well. I think not Sony, Microsoft, who are also implementing a lot of features related to PC now, which I think Sony should try and hop on the bandwagon with as well, because Microsoft are saying that like a fair few of their games now you can plug a mouse and keyboard into and it will have mouse and keyboard support.
Yeah,
which I think is really good. Which obviously will definitely push more PC players to, if you're an exclusive PC gamer and you generally don't care that much for the benefits of the PC related stuff, then a console that could give you a mouse and keyboard and give you the performance that you need for games, that could be pretty interesting. Because I know if, for example, I was like, say I'm 10 years older, right?
Yeah.
Do I really want to build myself a computer again and go through all the ball that I don't really care for anymore? Like now, obviously, I care for it a lot, you know what I mean? Like there's certain features that I want that the PC can only give me. But when I'm a lot older and I just want to play a shooter like COD or something like that on a next gen console, mouse and keyboard, because that's my preference of playing, offering that feature is a big step up than offering me just a better graphics.
It's a hard debate. I think it's a hard debate because you have people that play consoles because they like the casualness of it, right? They like just lying back in their chair with a controller, carefree.
The simpleness, yeah.
Yeah, it's not as try hard. And I think offering mouse and keyboard, when you do that, right, you're gonna be splitting your group in two, because the only way you could do it. The only way you could do it realistically is by making it so that way anyone with a keyboard mouse can't find people with a controller.
Yeah,
and that's the equivalent of like when new map packs get released, right? And like the community gets split because of it, and those who buy DLC and those who don't. So now there's less people to find, longer queues, just stuff like that in general. A lot of people don't really like stuff like that. So it's a hard debate, and a big step to take is whether or not a console should have keyboard and mouse support.
Yeah, it's a weird one where I guess some games are kind of doing it right at the moment, and then other games it wouldn't work for at all. So, for example, it's like Call of Duty, right? If you put me or you against any console player in COD, unless they're like professional, right, we're probably just going to wipe the floor with them. We're going to have faster reactions, easier control. We're going to be doing plenty more than them. We could probably jump around the room, crouch, duck, everything 10 times quicker than they ever could, because we've got the controls at our fingertips.
Well, it's also the controller's really bad for movement options, right? Like if you wanna look around, you can't. So you have your left thumb on one bumper, your right thumb on another, right?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you can move and look around, right? But
Yeah,
if you
but you
want to
can't
crouch
jump.
at the same
Yeah,
time,
you can't
you
jump
have to
or
move.
dash or do anything
Exactly
after
right.
that.
You can't look around anymore now, right? But because we have all of our movement options, like all of the way we want to look around on our mouse, and then our movement is on our left, but we still have fingers spare to jump, slide. You know what I mean? Sprint,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So yeah.
But at
100%.
the same time, there's other games like, obviously I know you don't like this game, but there's Fortnite where I've seen console players on Fortnite do things I could never imagine doing. Literally, have you seen a console player build on Fortnite? Some of them, you're just like, what? Like, what is going on in that guy's hands? Like, to build it, so the simplistic of building, right, on a PC, right, I'll just give it to you quickly, right? So it's obviously it's a bit more harder than this, but for me, literally to build, it was I press Q, I press my mouse button on my keyboard, I press Q again, and I just rotate between them until I'm at the kind of level that I want to be at. On control, you can't fast track to any pattern, so if you want to do like the stairs, you have to press the button like twice. If you like, where on PC you just press 3, it's that quick. But somehow these people have mastered it where they are building as fast as a PC player. Now, if you could get that on all games, I don't think you can. If you could get that kind of competitive level on all games, it would be okay, but I honestly don't think it's possible, because some games it's just not.
Yeah.
Like some games like COD, that just ain't gonna work. A person on a PC is just gonna wipe the floor with you.
Yep.
Or so jumping off games anyway, we'll go on. We're still talking about the PlayStation 5 though. They're saying that it's going to be able to produce ray tracing. Now, this is the thing that surprises me the most. Do you know what ray tracing is?
Go ahead and explain it to me.
Okay, so it's basically, I've done a tad bit of research on it. Everything I'm doing research on is very small, right? So I've done a tad bit of researching on ray tracing, and it's the little details that's supposed to add that like realism, but apparently it's really processor heavy. Like, I'm talking burn your PC processor heavy. Like, I was watching videos and people were using like real powerful PCs, right? And they're running a game at like 250 frames, and they put ray tracing on and the frame rate drops to about 60. And that's with a monster PC.
Yeah.
And it's like, and they're telling me the PlayStation 5's going to do that. At what frame rate? Can I turn this feature off as well? Because one feature that so did you play God of War on the
PlayStation
Pro?
is the only way to play. Oh, you mean?
Did you play on the PC?
Yeah, I enjoyed it on the PC. It was good, man. Yeah, I played on the Pro. Yeah.
Okay. Did you put the super sampling mode on, or did you turn it off?
I didn't change any settings.
Okay. Well, I think you had to pick whether to put super sampling on, or it just came as a standard.
Okay.
As its normal stats. Now, be honest. Don't lie. Did you feel that the game was running at 60 FPS? This is how I'm going to tell if you was running at super sampling or not.
I mean, I don't think the game's running at 60 FPS even with or without it.
Okay.
No, I don't think the game was running 65.
Okay, you might.
Go on.
You might have been running super sampling then. So I played the first half of God of War at super sampling, right? Yeah. And it was fine. It wasn't bad, but I could feel the difference because I play PC between the smoothness of the game.
Yeah.
I turned super sampling off, right? I lost a tiny bit of detail on his axe, and oh my god, that game felt like a dream. It was literally like playing a PC game. And obviously, right, I'm someone that literally gets excited when a game's smooth as butter. So when I'm playing a game on PlayStation 4 and it's not smooth as butter, no offense to Red Dead Redemption, right? Red Dead Redemption's not smooth as butter. I love that game so much, but it's not smooth. It's not 60 FPS. It's not. And when a game... Go on.
The feat that Red Dead takes with all the detail, the world size, all of that to run on a PlayStation 4, that's
Oh yeah,
That's
obviously.
impressive.
That's what I mean.
That's
What I mean. Yeah,
very
100%,
impressive.
100%. Right, and I don't throw that at them at all. Right, the game is a phenomenal game. Right, but it's not 60 FPS. Right, and we're talking about 60 FPS here. Right, it's not 60 FPS, but it's beautiful. And God of War was. Oh my god, it was so good. Like, obviously the game's amazing anyway, but the fact that I turned super sampling off and it was just like playing a PC game and everything just glided, everything was just so smooth. I loved it. Now, if PlayStation, I wish, right, this is one thing I want with consoles that are coming out within like the next generation of consoles. I beg them to let you be able to change settings in a game.
See, I don't know though. What kind of settings do you want changed? I know. Me and you have had this conversation before, and you want settings changed. But what kind of settings would you want changed? Because you would always hope that at the very least they're putting performance and visuals on the same level as each other, so they're not giving you amazing visuals at the cost of FPS, but they're not giving you trashy visuals for more FPS. You hope it's a middle ground that they're choosing from.
That's obviously what they're giving you at the moment is the middle ground, but I just wish that they would let you turn some things off that you don't care about. Like, well, that's the so when you see a fire in a game, right? Now, for me personally, I honestly don't care about the smoke on the fire. I really could not care less, right? But that is an added detail that is dropping my frame rate and dropping my enjoyment.
Quite a lot if it's in a big if it's a big flame as well.
Exactly, that is dropping my enjoyment, and when that's happening in a game, it's slightly less enjoyable. Now, I'm exaggerating quite a lot here, and it sounds like I am really hating on the game if there's a tiny bit of smoke. I generally don't care that much. It's just like whatever. But if I had the option to turn it off, I'd just turn it off. It would just be so much simpler for my life. If a game runs beautifully smooth all the time, it feels so nice.
I know what you mean, but
like, that is one thing I would love.
I do know what you mean. I do get it. I mean, at the end of the day, being able to choose your own settings, there's no downside to it in a sense. But at the same time, when you've got like PlayStation exclusives and stuff, you gotta think these games are built like that. They don't have to add certain things or give you an option to remove things. It makes it easier for them to develop the game because they don't have to give you these things. I'd say the only thing I absolutely want is an FOV slider, and then I'm good.
Oh yeah,
The settings
oh
I
my
trust
god,
them.
yeah.
The settings I trust them, but an FOV slider is absolutely necessary.
Literally.
If you have 200 to spare pound to spend on a PC or a PlayStation, you should get a PC just for an FOV slider. Just an FOV slider.
I ain't even joking.
It's so much better.
If you play PC for a very long time and then you jump into a shooter on console, people look at you like, aren't you supposed to be good at games? And you are literally blind. You are like, everything's too fucking big. I can't see where anything's going. Why is this guy's head too big? Why is the gun too big? Like, just everything is out of proportion. I can't be dealing with that. Like, it drives me. Yeah, it drives me insane. I am 100% with you on that.
Like I said, the only reason that like their excuse for obviously not having FOV sliders is it just like take a little bit more, only a little bit more to run it. Only a little bit more. You know, it's more things on your screen.
Yeah.
But I think with the hardware that's been brought up, I think it's very capable of just putting an FOV slider in. Like I don't think an FOV slider would be too out of the woods to suggest at this point.
Oh, 100%. That is a really good point, because a 1080 is going to run anything with an FOV slider. Like, if you tell me it's not, then I don't even know what I'm doing playing games anymore. If you're telling me that the 1080 can't do that.
Exactly. With how much you're spending on it as well.
Exactly. And so when do you reckon this console is going to come
out? 2020 or 2021.
Yeah,
I think 2020. I think 2020 is the release date that we'll get for it.
Yeah. Do you reckon they're going to show anything at E3?
Yeah, I absolutely think they will.
Okay. They also say that they're one of their prize features for some reason that they're saying. Obviously, you can The reason I think it's going to come out 2020 as well, they're saying that you can play PlayStation 4 games on it from the very get-go, any PlayStation 4 game, which makes me
That's
think...
an amazing thing to get it on launch as well.
Yeah, which makes me think they're going to release it and not really bring much out on it first.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how most stuff goes, though.
I'm pretty sure they're going to bring a game out, release it, and be like, yeah, there's this game with it to show off its true quality, which I would love if it was like a God of War or something, but I doubt it will be.
It'll be fucking FIFA.
You're right, it's going to be FIFA. It's going to be FIFA, and there's going to be more crowd, and it's going to look exactly like FIFA
same,
2000.
play the same, just different fucking people that you can add onto your dream team.
Yeah, literally. The next generation feature is going to be the fact there's more cameramen in it. And the ball actually, when the player kicks the ball, you can actually see the cushion of the ball move in instead of just the ball being constantly circled all the time. Yep. When the goalie just mindlessly doesn't save it, or your defenders do nothing, the next gen graphics is going to show you the clear cut of them doing nothing. You're 100% FIFA's 1010.
FIFA's 100,
coming out on that. So Microsoft as well. I don't know if it's still called Project Scorpio or it's or they're going to change the name on it. Project Scorpio was going around since the Xbox One. So Project Scorpio was the original name for the Xbox One, from what I know. But I think they're still keeping the name. Don't hold me to that. They might have changed it, but they haven't released anything at the moment on their new console. Now,
I think they're gonna wait for Sony first.
Yeah, or normally they release them all at the same time, and then you kind of realize, they're practically the same console, but one has different features to the other. Now, the Xbox One went for the theme of the all-in-one kind of console, where you could watch TV on it and you could do all this shit on it. Literally the dumbest thing ever, and I really think they lost the battle against Sony, because you're going to a gaming event telling me I can watch TV on my console
and order a fucking pizza.
It's like cool, and it's like that's it, and it's like okay, and then Sony are like, right, here's the console, here's all the exclusive games we're bringing out for it, and it's just like, oh, why would I want this Xbox when this is what, like, where Sony are actually focusing on the games, like. So I honestly think Xbox lost that, and I don't know if they're gonna go down that road again of being like, this is the all-in-one console. I would love if they came out and was like, we messed up last year, this year's gonna be completely different. We got the rights to Spider-Man 2, boys. And just walked off.
Here's the thing: if they got the rights, I'd be so sad, because here's the thing. Whilst I'm absolutely going to get the new Xbox, and I'm absolutely probably going to get the new PlayStation, well, I'll 100% get the new PlayStation, and I might get the new Xbox. Xbox has... Well, Xbox is Microsoft, right? Yeah. And Microsoft own fucking Microsoft Windows. So they actually have, like... They have quite a lot over Sony if they wanted to pursue exclusives, because you can get exclusives for Microsoft Windows and for the Xbox. You would make a lot of money on it, as well as drawing people away from PlayStation. You know what I mean? Whereas if Sony do an exclusive, it's to the PlayStation. They don't have the option of Microsoft Windows exclusivity as well. You know what I mean? Yeah.
The one thing that really that I thought Microsoft was going with, and honestly, it's kind of a shame, because I understand why they did it, but at the same time, it's sad that nothing ever came from it. So basically, Microsoft like to own the fact that, like, Minecraft is the biggest hit ever, and they kind of do try and make like a staple that's theirs, and it's like, well, it actually wasn't yours until you brought it, sort of thing. Like,
and it wasn't yours when it was like considered really good as well.
Exactly. Like, so but it's like, we're the consoles for indie games, you know what I mean? Like, we're where the future's gonna be, where all these new indie developers are gonna go, and we're at that, and it didn't really set out, and they all last year they done it. The year before that, they done it. They always throw Minecraft in there. Like, look at this hit game, and there's going to be more of them. And it's like Minecraft was really, let's be honest, it was a one-hit wonder. It came out, it was a goddamn hit, and I don't think anything will ever be a hit like that. Like, again, indie related anyway, and Microsoft were really holding on to the fact that there was going to be a new indie like hit game, and that's kind of what they went for. And I reckon if they do, they might do kind of like, you know what Steam done, which a lot of people didn't like. So originally Steam had like the green light feature where when there was like a certain amount of votes, you were then allowed to purchase and play and try out the game. But it wasn't coming into fashion until, like, obviously there was a certain amount of people that wanted to play it and all this. Now Steam just opened up the doors and was like, any piece of shit wants to be in here, sell it for as much as you want, let's just fucking go and see where it gets us. And you have all these crap games that are out for like £3 that some people don't buy, and then you have these terrible games that are like £20 that some people bought, and then you have loads of games that are just, you know, in development for a billion years, and some of them are hits like PUBG, other of them are not hits at all and people hate them. Well,
here's the thing about indie games, right? Like, I think a big mistake of Microsoft, though, right, is trying to like pitch yourself as the console for indie games when essentially the console for indie games is PC, and it will always be PC because PC offers freedom. And that makes making games a lot easier for a
you don't have to make a port. Like, you literally the game's on a file, you put that file on whatever Steam's little link thing is that they'll make. There's your game. People just click download. It's right there for you. Microsoft, you've got to port it over to Microsoft. Probably got to go through a million different instructions and everything. Now, I reckon Microsoft might go on the bandwagon of still going with the indie thing and making it easier for indie developers to get on their console, which would be interesting, but it's still just a lot of shit, because they were doing that with they were doing that back when we played console. Really, do you remember how many Minecraft games came out before Minecraft actually came out? And it was just a load of crap, but it was just...
Well, there was some that I liked.
That's what I mean. There was like hidden gems in there, but at the same time, it was just like there was just a million rip-offs until the actual game came out, and that's what you was. And it was like, and they try to pursue that sort of thing.
Compared to what Steam offers you with indie titles, though, honestly, Microsoft isn't even close to being like... You would never get an Xbox if you wanted to play these new indie titles that, like, you have like little board games and stuff, like Tabletop Simulator and stuff like that. You have all these things that are kind of PC exclusive, and as a PC gamer, you kind of own these because they're a few hours of fun, but they're not really more than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, you'll always go back to them and play them, and I think that's just something console will never be able to get. I think it's just way easier for an indie developer to publish, create, develop, and advertise their game on Steam than it is, or just on PC in general, than it is on console.
100%. Now, so you have Sony that have released, obviously, their PS5 news. Xbox retaliated to that statement with their new discless Xbox One. What do you think?
The stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Apparently it's going to be more cheaper, but that for me is, now if you're dumb, now not to offend anyone, but if you're dumb, you purchase this, because you can go to eBay, Amazon, anything, right, and find a game a shit ton cheaper than you will on the Xbox store. Like, you can go anywhere and find a copy of that game cheaper than you will on the store. And I was looking, so the PlayStation store, they're trying to fix stuff, but they're still not as good. So I looked at, like, I was looking at because I was looking at games to buy, like, on PlayStation that I could just play. So Mortal Kombat on Amazon was like £20. Mortal Kombat on PC is still like £40.
Yeah.
And I assume on Xbox it's the exact same, because they probably price match each other. You know what I mean? No one's going to sell one cheaper than the other, because that's how they got to do it. So I bet on Xbox it's the exact same price. Now, there's no way. Mortal Kombat came out in goddamn like 3 years ago. Mortal Kombat X came out in 2015. Mortal Kombat X.
4 years ago.
What?
4 years
I
ago.
thought you said 40. Then I was like,
What,
no.
what was the actual date? Or the actual
7th of April 2015.
4 years ago. What? Don't lie to me. It has
And-
not taken them 4 years to bring out the next Mortal Kombat. I suppose
To be
they have,
fair,
like, Injustice and
I was
stuff in
about to say they normally throw Injustice out within that 2 years, and then the 2 years later it's more. Exactly. But that game, 30-40 quid on on PlayStation, probably the exact same on Xbox. There's no way in hell I'd be paying that price for that game. Now,
for a 4-year-old game, yeah.
Like, and that's going to stick like that, I guarantee. So if anyone buys a discless Xbox, then you've just made the biggest mistake of your life. Get rid of it immediately, and just go
How
buy.
much cheaper is it?
Well, on here on Amazon it's £14, and on here it's on eBay it's £10. Just quickly looking from the search that I did on Google.
I was talking about the Xbox.
Oh, the Xbox. Apparently it's supposed to be like $200 or $250. So
In
for
comparison to? No, not conversion. I get that. Just what's the comparison?
Xbox One. Quickly looking, an Xbox One S is £200 for the One S.
Wait, is the One S?
Yeah, is the slimline edition of the Xbox, isn't it? Yeah. So the One S is 200 quid. So, and the next one's gonna be $200, which is about 160 quid. So you lose 20 quid. Maybe they'll.
Yeah, I don't think that's worth it.
Yeah, maybe they're going to make that a bit cheaper. There's no way you're taking like 40 quid off a console and then being like, oh yeah, it's discless.
It's not even just that, right? But like, it stops the idea of like borrowing games to your friends and stuff. Like I mean, obviously you lent God of War 2 a deal, which you wouldn't have been able to do if you had a discless PlayStation. Like I said, I mean, the amount of I digitally download most of my games, but like I got Horizon on disc, I got Last of Us on disc, I got Spider-Man on disc, because like these are games that I thought would be pretty good, so I wanted disc to own the case.
Yeah, it's the exact
plus
same.
They were cheaper to buy on disc as well.
Yeah, it's the exact same for me. So for a single player game, I normally purchase it because if I ever come into conversation with someone, and I know obviously probably Microsoft and Sony don't like me doing this, but if I ever come into conversation with someone like, have you played the new Spider-Man? And they tell me no, it's like, I have it, I've completed it, borrow it, play it, complete it.
Same.
Obviously they probably don't want me to do that because they probably make more money if someone buys that game, but it's that sheer fact that I can go and do that makes that, to be fair, it builds the community. Because if they so for example, I loved Detroit, right? And I spoke to my friend at work about Detroit religiously through I was playing it. I was like, this keeps happening, this is happening, oh my god, you need to play this game so much, right? And he was like, don't get paid till the end of the month, can't do it. I completed that game within like 3 days. And I literally brought it in to work and I was like, play it, complete it, tell me what you think of it. Now, I know for a fact if another Detroit comes out, I don't think there will be, but if another Detroit or from that game developer comes out in that style game, my friend is buying that. He is buying that release day. Like, he's 100, because he came back to me and he was like, one of the best games I've ever played.
Yeah.
Which...
God of War as well. Like, a deal wasn't going to buy it, you lent it to him, and then... The old thing is also one of the best games he's ever played, rightly so, God of War, but you get the point. Yeah,
exactly. Like, so I think a discless Xbox is kind of dumb, but Google are also making a console, and that one's supposed to be discless. Almost a dick then. Discless.
It's a little different if you just start getting into the console industry and you make it discless, rather than if you make a new version and then change it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The one thing Google have actually, which is kind of surprising for me, now their new console that allegedly is coming out, this is all rumor and speculation, I don't think anything is confirmed yet, but it's supposed to be as soon as you purchase the game you can play it, which mind blows me.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
Literally the amount of times I've had to sit there for 40 minutes and wait for my game to install. Steam,
40 minutes.
console,
living the life.
like Steam, console, everything, right? Now I heard, right? Did you get Red Dead Redemption?
2.
Yeah.
My brother did play it on that.
So Red Dead Redemption 2 for me took me about 2 hours to install. People were telling me they downloaded it off the PlayStation Store. It took them like 20 minutes.
Nope, not true. No, not true. PlayStation Store's lower than Steam.
No. I mean, not Steam. I mean disc. So the disc was taking longer to install than the actual online feature.
No, not true. PlayStation Store sucks.
That blows my mind if that was true.
No, not true. 20 minutes for 20 minutes, right? For I think what was it? Fucking 60 gig was it?
99 gig apparently. Red Dead 2 is
99 gig,
Wait,
and the PlayStation. Well, PlayStation Store is generally slower than Steam anyway. In a game, like I think I can do GTA in an hour, which was like 60 gig.
Mm-hmm.
Better comparison would be D2, which is like 100 and something gig. I think that's like 3 hours for me, maybe like 2. There's no way someone did 20 minutes on Red Dead Redemption 2. No way. Especially on the PlayStation Store. Hell no.
Probably some like American dude with like a terabyte internet or some shit.
Yeah, and he's living like on Sony's doorstep.
Yeah. But apparently the Google one, they're saying that that's coming out. All speculation at the moment, but they're saying apparently you purchase the game and you play it. It connects straight to a server. Do that? Connects straight to a server that's pre-got the game already.
Is that better though?
Which, okay, that's the thing. So
it's pirating. That's cool.
Obviously, yeah, but a lot of people are very. A lot of people are saying, well, in all honesty, you don't. The thing that people are like getting quite salty about at the moment is the fact that you're not owning a game license anymore. You're owning a license to the server.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people are, which you can agree, right? So, if the
server gets shut down, you can't play the game.
Yeah, exactly. You're paying money, and the server shuts down. You can't play the game anymore. So, when Google says in 3 to 5 years' time, I doubt they will. Or their servers will probably last longer than life itself. But when their servers shut down for an update, you can't play games. You can't do anything you want anymore. You're stuck. But at the same time, you know, when your internet goes down, you can barely play any Steam games. If any game on Steam has an online feature, for me, I don't think you used to.
As long as it's a single player game, you can play.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe my computer's just crap then. I'm pretty sure, like, when I try to play, I think it was Jurassic Park. I tried to play Jurassic Park when my internet went down, and Steam was like, nope. And I was like, Steam, please, I own this game. And it was like, nope. Yeah, literally, because I had nothing else to play. Right, so I always have it. So when my internet goes down, I have backup games, obviously, right? So I have Mortal Kombat installed, and I also had Jurassic Park installed.
But you could play Mortal Kombat.
No, neither of them worked. So now I just go on the PlayStation.
Yeah, that's what happens when my internet goes down. Like I played XCOM 2. I couldn't play that fine.
That's dog. I don't know why you don't want me. And I was literally Steam's just clowning on me. Then Steam's just clowning. Okay, yeah. So they're apparently going to bring out one that connects straight to a server, and then you can just play the game from the get-go. That sounds amazing to me. That. Also, that's a cool idea. Don't know how much they're going to charge, and I don't know any specs of it, but apparently it's all server based, which is interesting because that means you might not even need any form of hardware. So that means they might give you like a fucking USB that you plug into your TV, and it just connects to a server.
No, it's not. No, the server can't run it. It just has the game data downloaded.
No, that's the thing. It's supposed to run the whole thing. It's literally supposed to be it's supposed to be like a box that just runs it all. Wait.
Nah, I don't believe that.
So apparently, like that's one thing, all speculation, obviously at the moment. But the next one is another one that. This was on the works last year, but this is what I think they changed to the new one, the new idea that everyone's going with now. But the last one was going to be Google were bringing out a console that they were going to have their own form of parts that you can change on your own for a cheaper cost. So
That's
if you
cool.
wanted a better graphics card, you could change the graphics card. If you wanted a better, motherboard, you
Thing
could
with
just
that
change
though,
the
I
motherboard piece.
just gonna be honest though, it's just a PC. Why don't I just buy a PC for that?
Exactly. Yeah, I guess they'd have to try and bring it to a small enough cost where you can,
Not even
jump
cost.
into that.
Probably just have to make it easy.
Well,
Just that's the only thing I could just imagine. Like it's just easy to swap parts out and stuff.
Yeah,
and, you have to
definitely.
put, like thermal paste and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and also like they'll bring the console out at first at a mega cheap price, and then they'll add their bonuses. So when people think, you know what, I might invest 200 quid in better graphics, and then 6 months later I might invest an extra 100 quid in this, and then I might invest they give you something that works, and then they say you can invest money into it, and then it improves. A lot of people are probably going to go with that option.
I don't know. To me, like the beauty of a console to me is it's a one-time purchase for like 6-7, like maybe even longer. When did the last consoles come out?
X
2013.
2013.
Yeah, so provided this don't come out till 2020, that's 7 years where you spend like, I don't know, £500, and then that's 7 years of like content where any game that releases for that you can run. And like I don't imagine Google selling like the base console for like £200, and then you can upgrade later. And then every game coming out for that console saying like it can be run on the base Google. Let's call it the Google box for now.
Yeah.
It can run on the base Google box. So don't even worry about it. Like I very much doubt that. You know what I mean? Like I think it would just end up being more like PC, where you have the minimum and recommended, but the minimum would eventually go above the base of the Google box because games get better and better. So I don't know. I personally don't imagine that being like. It's hard to say because we don't have it, and change can be good, can be bad. But I think the beauty of a console for me is like not having to like upgrade or spend any more money aside from games for like 7 years.
Yeah. The one thing I'm looking forward to is the fact there is more of a battle now between the developers. It's not just Microsoft versus Sony for the consoles. That Google are coming in trying to act big man. So that's going to be interesting to see how they respond with that, because the thing is, you normally have Microsoft versus Sony. And then you have kind of Nintendo that's sneakily
just sitting on its own.
Yeah,
just releasing stuff that everyone gets.
Yeah, like it literally has its own little like fan base, and it sneakily steals gamers from each one, and then the gamers just jump from Nintendo. They steal a few gamers, and then they jump back to the console or whatever. So like Nintendo doing their thing,
Nintendo's
but
they're
like they're never on the same level as Thingy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Switch is pretty impressive, to be fair.
The Switch is good, but they never graphically or anything are on the same level. But it'd be nice to see Google come out, because the thing is, Google, I assume, are going to try and come out with a new idea that's probably that they are going to try and sell you, sort of thing. They're not just going to come out with the exact same thing as so Microsoft and Sony come out with almost the exact same console, but then they offer that one extra feature. Now Google has to come out either better than both of them, or they need to offer you something that is going to take you away from them, sort of thing, which is interesting because that's a big dog move, you know what I mean, if they do that.
Yeah.
Which I obviously like to see. We've actually ran for an hour already. That's insane. Right.
Well,
so
Google before we change, Google dabble in a lot of stuff, so it'd be quite easy for them to sway you with a console by showing you some other stuff. Like I imagine like downloading, or like let's just say you do have to download games. I imagine downloading from the quote unquote Google store would be incredibly fast compared to the Sony store.
Yeah, and I would assume Google. The thing is, Google aren't partnered with Amazon. But I assume Google, with all their information, are going to be able to price match way quicker than any other company, which is going to be amazing if they do that. If
Yeah,
they
like maybe you get like
honestly-
discounts on like
Yeah.
purchases from Amazon if you do it from the Google thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
like
any game you buy from out the Amazon thing, it'll be like 10% off or something.
yeah, that's what I mean. They could price match anything because imagine Google's database, how much information they hold. So it's just like, oh, Amazon are selling a game for 30 quid, we'll sell it for 25.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's same for anything. It's like, do you know what I mean? Fortnite's the biggest game searched for at the moment on Google. Let's just sell you Fortnite like constantly, sort of thing. Which will be
Keep that shit to yourself.
yeah, which will be very interesting. Okay, we'll jump here to Avengers predictions because we'll leave the other stuff for next week's episode anyway. So we'll jump over to the Avengers predictions. Okay, so we'll jump over to the Avengers predictions. What's going to happen because Avengers is next week. So it's going to be it comes out on you are driving me insane. Right, so it comes out on the 25th for us, the 26th for everyone else because
Wait. I'm not sure though, is it so I'm going to watch it on the 24th. But
wait, how are you watching it on the 24th? It's not out till the 25th. You watching the midnight release?
Yeah, midnight release on the 24th at 11:30, so I guess it's the 25th, but it's also kind of the 24th. So
Okay, well,
it is technically the 24th.
Okay, so they're saying, well, to be fair, all the marketing are saying 26th. Like, literally, I'm looking at buses and it's like coming out the 26th, and it's like, that's a lie. I know people are going to watch it Thursday. So you're going to watch it on the 24th. Some people are going to watch it on the 25th. I'm going to watch it on the 27th because I somehow didn't get my tickets when I was like one of the first people there to try and get a ticket. So predictions, right? You know the plot because of spoilers, right? Obviously, no spoilers right now, so you're not allowed to tell me what happens.
I will not speculate either since I already know.
Yeah, I got a few fan theories that apparently, you know, that's been going through the interwebs. Obviously, we've got something to do with time travel. I don't know if that's a thing. I literally know
that's a pretty ancient theory as well.
Yeah, I literally know nothing going into this one other than the trailers that I've seen. So I'm really excited to see what the plot's actually going to be in this, and I want to see if it expands into like other things Marvel are going to do, or if it's just going to stop there and then everyone's going to release their kind of other stuff. So one thing I heard that a friend told me the other day, apparently, you know, in Avengers 1, the reason Loki invaded over Thanos is because Thanos was worried that Captain Marvel was going to show up upon that invasion. Do you know anything about that?
Interesting. It's interesting. I don't know if it's necessarily right. Yeah, it's interesting to say the least. It's interesting
because there's no evidence to prove that. But have you watched
not
Captain
have
Marvel?
evidence?
What? No, he told me that he watched a YouTube video and that was like what they were explaining.
Okay.
But he had like no evidence to prove it. But have you watched Captain Marvel?
No.
Okay, so in Captain Marvel, you know, I forgot the name of him. You know the guy in Guardians, the one that they verse in Guardians 1.
Oh, Ronan.
Yeah, he shows up in Captain Marvel to invade Earth, and he fucking legs it, basically.
Yeah.
He sees Captain Marvel, and he's like, fuck that noise. I ain't dealing with that right now. And he literally fucks off. Now, I assume that could be the case because
I see. Here's the thing. That did not really respect Ronan's opinion at all. Like he saw Ronan as a very weak character, but like just a cut above everyone else. He was honestly just using him as a minion. Yeah. I don't think his word would be enough to convince Thanos that someone is that powerful.
100% I'm with you there, but I was thinking maybe in Captain Marvel 2 it might be not at the aftermath of the Endgame. It's actually still a prequel to it, and then 3 might be an aftermath of Endgame.
Do you really think we're gonna get a Captain Marvel 2?
I would hope so, because in a lot of people speculating that she's going to be the forefront of like Marvel. That's pretty much what I've heard, that Captain Marvel's going to be. So I'm assuming that Endgame, Iron Man and Captain America are going to stand down and or allegedly might die. No one knows. Speculation. They're either going to die, and then Captain Marvel's going to take the forefront as the new leader. Now, I know,
think maybe that I don't know. I think maybe that could have been their initial plan, but I think as a whole, the internet reacted not poorly to the movie, but poorly to Brie Larson because of the whole press tour that she did, and I think as a whole, people aren't exactly like fond of her. I can't imagine that Marvel decided they like bank their entire like franchise on her now.
Yeah, that's the thing, because of that situation that went down. I don't know who's gonna lead the Marvel now. Now it might be Spider-Man. I just don't see Tom Holland as like a forefront of Marvel. And I no offense to the guy, I don't mind him as Spider-Man. I don't want him to be the face of Marvel at all. I just don't. I want someone like Robert Downey Jr., you know, like Cap. Them kind of character, like them kind of faces look good as the face of Marvel. I don't think Tom Holland does. You know what face I actually wouldn't mind be the face of Marvel? I don't think it will be. Doctor Strange would be pretty decent. It'd be a nice change to be like, oh, okay, you know what? That's cool. Right? To see him in other people's films would be pretty interesting. And I wouldn't mind. And rumors, right? I heard this today, actually. I was scrolling through the interwebs of YouTube. Apparently, there was this press conference with Avengers, and a lot of people were talking about Thor. And apparently, Thor 4 might be in the works. It might be a thing. Now, I would love the passing of the torch, if there is going to be a passing of the torch, to go down to Thor, because at first a lot of people did not care for Thor, and then Ragnarok changed everything. So I'm pretty happy if that's the case, and Thor is going to take the forefront of Marvel. Don't think it will be, but that would be pretty decent if it did. What I don't want is them to kind of like, I don't want it to end. I kind of like the fact that they've got this all coming together sort of thing, and then they'll probably split off, but I want a few people to like kind of stay together still and all that. And I don't want everyone to just bring out three films. Sorry, I'd be intrigued to see if kind of Endgame is a reboot for some characters and like a fall for others. I think that'd be really interesting. So it'd be like, for example, let's say Iron Man and Cap die in Endgame, right? That's the end of Endgame, right? Thor brings another 2 films out. You know, Guardians, they survive in Endgame. They bring another 2 films out. You know, you have all these characters that because they didn't die, their films are going to carry on. Their legacy is still going to carry on. That would be really cool. I don't want them to all just make 3 films and then be like, oh yeah, we've done the 3 films, we're done now. Because no offense, if one thing I could wish for would be Iron Man to get a reboot of his films. Not Robert Downey Jr., like not Iron Man anymore. I mean Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, just getting a reboot of his films. Like the technology and everything that they have to what they had, and I just wish they had better villains. It would be so much better now to see an Iron Man than what it was. Like Iron Man has, like, for me anyway, like Iron Man has like so much character. Like he has so much character, and oh no, Iron Man 2 wasn't that great, and Iron Man 3 just extremely upset me. Like I liked all the suits, so the suits were cool, but Iron Man 3 was upsetting. Iron Man 2 just wasn't great. Iron Man 1, it was pretty good for Iron Man's first film.
I disagree. I think Iron Man 2 was terrible. I think Iron Man 1 was really good.
Mhm.
I think Iron Man 3, the only issue with that film was a wasted character. But I thought it was very interesting to bring Tony back down to earth, bring him back down to his roots, and have that film was, to me, less about the villain and more about Tony, which is everything an Iron Man film should be. Since his villains aren't amazing, he has a couple of good villains, and they actually used some of his best villains and they wasted them.
Mhm.
Whiplash was a really boring fight. Like I say, Iron Man's fights aren't amazing. Like just as a whole, the character doesn't make for cinematic, like amazing cinematic fights as a whole. The character doesn't make for those. He's a really nice support character. Like as a whole, the actual character of Tony is great in a lead, but the actual role of Iron Man is a lot more of a cinematic, like kind of the role that War Machine plays in the Battle of Wakanda, right?
Yep.
Where you've seen him drop a bunch of bombs and stuff.
Yeah.
You see he's being useful, but if you're actually looking for the fist fights, the cinematic, like the real fucking interesting stuff, like the real visually spectacle things, that's when you're seeing like Black Panther and Cap like going hand to hand with people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
It's kind of like watching Scarlet Witch fight. It's not that interesting, but she's fucking useful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I did like Iron Man 3. I know what you mean. I think wasting the Mandarin was terrible. I think Whiplash's fight scene was terrible. But I wouldn't want a reboot of the series. I just want an Iron Man 4 where they actually use the Mandarin instead of just as a cheap facade.
Yeah.
But you are right though on Doctor Strange. I think Doctor Strange should absolutely be the next lead for Marvel.
It'd be so interesting if he was like, because the thing is, they could use him as the idea. Okay, so you had the idea of kind of like Iron Man looking over Spider-Man as like more of a like kind of guardian mentor sort of thing, right?
Like more like a mentor, father figure.
But you could have Doctor Strange as not the mentor, but when shit gets real, that's when Strange turns up, because he's there to protect Earth. That's his job. So if something hits up and Doctor Strange shows his face, you actually think, oh shit, like this is a big deal sort of thing now. And I think they could do that. So if I was them, Spider-Man Homecoming wouldn't show Doctor Strange, but then like I don't know, the next Spider-Man, there's a character that gets a bit too big for their boots sort of thing, and I don't know, you could use Dr. Ock or something, but then say like Dr. Ock gets a bit way too strong, and obviously Dr. Ock has the brain to like also be able to be like a big threat. Strange comes into it and explains, this guy's a major fucking deal, I've got to get involved in this as well. That would be kind of interesting to see Doctor Strange show up and be like, I need to help you sort of thing, like the way Iron Man was with Spider-Man. But if he was doing it with multiple people, it'd be really cool, I think.
Yeah.
Like that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So Rob, we'll end it here anyway. Thank you for watching. And there will be a exclusive Game of Thrones episode that we record on Monday. It normally comes out on Wednesday, so that will be coming out on the Wednesday. If you enjoy that, that'd be great. And thank you for watching, guys. We'll be back with another episode of the Just Straight Up FGandRZ podcast next week. So thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next chapter. Bye.